Thank you for joining A Shark's Perspective, the podcast with subject matter experts in marketing. Influencers continue to grow in importance because they help bridge that know, like, and trust factor that so many brands so often need. But how do you become a social media influencer and make a good income doing that online? Kylie Francis is a Pinterest influencer, social media consultant, digital course creator, and an expert in affiliate marketing. And on this episode, we'll discuss some of the tactics and techniques that go into creating a sustainable six-figure income as a Pinterest influencer, tips in affiliate marketing, and tips on becoming an expert in social media by being authentic with your own social voice. So this elite swimmer turned Pinterest influencer goes 47 meters down with an influential shark on this episode of A Shark's Perspective. Kylie, thank you so much for joining us on A Shark's Perspective today. Tell me a little bit about your background and career thus far. What is the Kylie Francis story?
So, long story short, when I was in college, a sophomore in college, I was a Division I swimmer, and I also was double majoring in apparel merchandising and business. And while I was on training trip one year, one of my friends introduced me to Pinterest. And that's kind of where my career took off as a social media influencer. And I've been doing it for the last 7 years, and I make a six-figure income from being a social media influencer. And now I am a digital course creator, and I teach other aspiring influencers and entrepreneurs how they can make an income online.
It's fantastic. Let's dive in then with your story as a Pinterest influencer. Where did you start? At what point did you go, this is what I want to do, and roll the dice and go with it? And where are you now with the number of followers you have and the Kylie Francis brand?
Yeah, so when I started Pinterest, it was a hobby. I had no idea it was going to be my full-time job. I had no idea you could make money off of Pinterest. I was kind of like everybody else. Like, what is Pinterest? I have no idea you can even monetize it. So what I did was, because it was my obsession and it was my hobby, I saw that over a year or two, I was garnering a lot of fans, a lot of followers, and not just that, I was getting a lot of viral pins. And I also realized that you could make money online from being a blogger.
Wait,
But
real quick, what kind of content were you posting?
I was posting fashion content.
Yeah.
So outfit ideas, women's fashion, because I was studying apparel merchandising in school. So that was what I was interested in. So it was combined with my, creative obsession with posting fashion outfits. I was obsessed with curating my ideas on Pinterest, which is what Pinterest is for. It's a place for sharing ideas and it's a search engine. So people could easily find outfits for inspiration through the search. So as my pins were going viral, I realized that I could somehow tie in a way to make money from my Pinterest account. And I did that through affiliate marketing. So as my Pinterest account grew and I tied in affiliate marketing with my Pinterest pins, which pays me per click and per purchase through the pin, I was making a steady stream of income from my Pinterest account. So I would say 3 to 4 years after I started my Pinterest account, I was making five figures a month from my Pinterest account. And like to this day. So that was what, 5 years ago? Okay. Yeah, 5 years ago. So since I was a sophomore in college to this day, it took me a couple years to build up my Pinterest following. And then when I figured out that affiliate marketing was actually a thing, I started applying the affiliate marketing pins or links to my pins. And since I was making money per click and per purchase off of a fashion item that I posted onto my Pinterest account, I was then generating a consistent stream of revenue even from posting 30 minutes a day.
So how many followers do you have now?
So I have 92,000 followers on Pinterest.
Nice. I think I maybe have 92 relatives on my Facebook channel, but that's about it. So I am really curious though as to why you, as an influencer, chose Pinterest. So many people that do this often choose Instagram or YouTube.
Right.
But at the same time, I love it because those pins live forever, and a lot of experts will tell you that it converts extremely well as a channel from an
Yeah.
ROI standpoint. So, why not the air quote traditional platforms like YouTube or Instagram?
So when I first started on Pinterest, Instagram wasn't a thing. It wasn't so I started 7 years ago. and YouTube was, Facebook was, but the difference between what I was doing compared to Facebook and YouTube was that I didn't have time. I didn't have the time to curate YouTube videos. I didn't have the time, and I think it was MySpace was still a thing. So when I was on Pinterest, it was quick, it was easy, it was fast, and I could curate my ideas all under 30 minutes a day. So while I was swimming double swim practices a day, while I was studying for my double major, while I was traveling for swim meets at the weekend, all I needed to do was download Pinterest on my phone and start repinning from other people if I was inspired by an outfit or quotes or anything, right? And then when I started transitioning from repinning other people's content to creating my own content, that's kind of when everything blew up.
Yeah. So that obviously helps explain, what you love about Pinterest, but I believe you still maintain a pretty robust channel, or you maintain a
Right.
robust presence on other channels. What do you like in other social platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, etc., that also helps sustain and, propel your career?
So what I like about Instagram and Facebook is that I can communicate live with the people that I'm
Yeah.
influencing. You don't really get that from Pinterest. On Pinterest, I can influence anyone at any time because all of my efforts go into the Google search engine. I can be very hands off with Pinterest. I just provide my value and then the return on investment is definitely the highest on Pinterest compared to Facebook and Instagram. For Facebook and Instagram, you have to work for it. I have to show up on live streams every week. I have to make sure that I'm posting my own content and I have to make sure I'm in my own content. Whereas with Pinterest, I don't have to be present physically taking a selfie and being in my own content. I also can post and I can leave the platform if I set up the search correctly and know that since it's a search engine, that pin will eventually go viral. So so essentially the difference is I love Facebook and Instagram. I always say Instagram's the online business card. When I go on the Instagram, that's where my audience builds the know, like, and trust factor with me. When I go onto Pinterest, that's where I really have my expert credibility. That's when people go to my platform and they see at one glance, wow, this is the profile that I want to follow because I am getting exactly what I want from this profile.
So, just from a social influencer perspective, is 90% of your income come from Pinterest? Is that a fair?
Yes.
So, of your time spent on social, like you talked about having to work for it on Instagram and Facebook
Right.
with live streaming,
Right.
from flip that, is the percentage flipped on the amount of time you have to spend?
Yeah. Yeah. So I spend 30 minutes a day. I try to spend 30 minutes a day on Pinterest. Like because I know my return on investment is so high,
Yeah.
I want to spend 30 minutes a day on Pinterest. But sometimes I even forget because it's so the income is constantly coming in because it's so passive. Whereas on Instagram, on Facebook, if I don't show up for my Facebook group, if I don't show up on my Instagram, whether that's a post or an Instagram story, I know I'm going to lose that influence gradually because those people constantly need to be entertained. And the only way that they are entertained is if they're constantly being pushed with content, right? Whereas on Pinterest, people are entertained through a search engine. So anyone random on the Google search engine or the Pinterest search engine can search in the search bar and say how to do blah 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 and they can see my pin. My pin lives and goes viral weeks to months to years after I post it.
I love being able to be so forgetful about your main income
Yeah, I
channel
know.
that you can click it and forget it, or pin it and forget it,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
yet still make a six-figure income. So,
Yeah.
where do you see influencers in marketing today? I mean, obviously you know your own power as an influencer, but where do you see them? I mean, most advertisers are trying to find ways to truly understand, again, air quotes, your group and of people,
Mhm.
and how brands can best leverage you to increase, awareness or drive sales and content,
Yeah.
etc. But I've worked with influencers for a lot of years, and I know the allure and appeal, but would love to know where you see a brand's value of working with influencers. What can you do that they can't? Who can you talk to that the brand cannot? What can Kylie Jenner do, for example, that a makeup brand cannot on its own?
Right. So people know Kylie Jenner through her TV show, Keeping Up with the Kardashians. They know every single thing about that family, right? Because they were vulnerable enough to show every single side of themselves. when they're fighting, when they're crying, what makes them tick, what makes them happy. And when people can relate to somebody else, that's when trust is built, right? So businesses are built on a know, like, and trust factor. And you can easily persuade someone to buy from you when you have all of those ticks. If someone knows you, likes you, and trusts you, they will buy from you. So using influencer marketing in your business is a must. You need to use influencer marketing. And I think one thing that businesses today don't really understand is like which influencers to pick and the types of contracts that they need to create with these
Couldn't
influencers.
agree more.
So, right. So a lot of businesses get caught up in the, oh my gosh, like let me push you all this product for free and I don't want to pay you. And a lot of influencers don't like that because they spent all this time building this platform and that's the new advertising channel. There's not billboards anymore. The billboard is your Instagram post, or it's an Instagram my story, or it's a Pinterest pin, or it's a Facebook live where you're doing a product, or YouTube, right? So the way that brands and businesses need to approach influencer marketing is really knowing their niche. And not only that, they need to fine tune and make sure that the person that they're approaching actually has that influence. And that's another, that could be a whole nother story with buying followers, buying likes, buying, a fake influence online. And I think that's why a lot get mixed up because they see the number and they realize that that number isn't real,
And
right?
you're right. You're spot on. And one of the biggest appeals to me over the years, my experience working with influencers is I've never, just as a consumer, it's very hard to trust a brand. But if you trust
Mhm.
somebody you've built up a no like and trust
Right.
relationship with, it's a game changer. And when you see the power of influencers in marketing today, it's so easy to see how valuable they can be. I mean, when you look at Forbes did a feature about a 7-year-old boy, Ryan's World, if you're familiar with him, making 11 million a year, on
Mhm.
YouTube reviewing toys on Ryan's Toy Review, and Walmart's now
Right.
in on the action, beginning to feature him on his own dedicated line of toys and apparel. It's simply amazing. So
You're right.
can you give us some examples of the type of content you generally produce for all social channels? And then, what's your engagement beyond just setting those pins on Pinterest?
So what's great about my brand is that each one of my channels shows a different side of me, and that was unintentional. It was kind of just like when I was in college and I started my Pinterest channel, which is very fashion. It's a fashion niche. I had no idea that was going to become my thing, right? So I have my fashion pins that I use for affiliate marketing on my channel that I also work with fashion retailers on my Pinterest channel and promote for them on my channel. So then on my Instagram, that's more of my online business card, like I said earlier. So on my Instagram, I really push content where I love taking photos on my GoPro. So all the photos that I take are of me and I take them myself. And it's me traveling the world, living the laptop digital nomad lifestyle. And also I tie in a little bit of CrossFit since I was a Division 1 athlete. I'm very athletic and that's kind of like me in a nutshell, which is like I said, my online business card. And then my Facebook group is what I just started in February when I started creating digital courses and teaching other entrepreneurs how to grow their impact and influence online. So my Facebook group is really, which is already one of the top rated Facebook groups for entrepreneurs. Um, it's where I teach entrepreneurs social media marketing and how they can leverage it not only strategically, but save their time with the tactics that I've learned throughout my journey as an influencer.
So I want you to, at this point, to whip out your crystal ball, your tea leaves, your Ouija board, or one of those magic 8 balls, and tell us what you think the future of influencers is.
Yeah, I think that the future of influencers is the future of advertising. So, what do I mean by that? I mean, you are no longer going to see, I think models are done and dusted. I think people relate to real, they relate to authenticity, and they relate to vulnerability. So, the more you can be yourself in today's world, the better of a chance you have to be an influencer, the better of a chance you have to stand out because that's how people are going to be able to relate to you. And not only that, that's when it becomes really, really freaking easy for everybody,
Hmm.
like, and for yourself.
Well, thank you for killing off my dream of becoming that well-known supermodel.
No, I was just saying that you should be yourself.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So, where do you see going with your own brand in the future? What do you want to do? What do you want to achieve that you haven't yet?
So, my goals are to continue educating other entrepreneurs, budding influencers, or bloggers how to stand out online. I just absolutely love giving value to people and I love seeing other people successful. So, that for me lights my soul up more than posting about myself, talking about myself, being an actual influencer where I was reviewing products and stuff. So, I see myself educating and influencing in a way where I'm giving
I
rather than
Yeah.
being selfish with it.
I think that alone will help propel you because most influencers, unfortunately, in the Instagram world, tend to
Mhm.
talk a little bit more about themselves and their brand, and you don't hear them talking about teaching, and that's really
Mhm.
the kind of content that people are looking for more and more. So,
Yeah.
as an influencer and marketer, what's the most important lesson that you've learned in marketing to really help your business grow?
Do what feels right for you. So what I mean by that is I see it all too often where somebody wants to start being an influencer and they see somebody else
Yes.
that's successful, and instead of using it as inspiration, they copy. And the problem with doing that is when you copy somebody that's already out there doing it, you're becoming just like them.
Yeah.
And guess where you end up? You end up in the sea of everyone
A
else
bad
that loves
version of them.
copying that same.
Right.
Right, right. You people stand out online by being the best versions of themselves.
Yeah.
And you do things that aren't already out there. So if you have this inkling of wanting to try something new that no one else has done it yet, do it and just trust that it will work out.
Yeah, you can't be an authentic copycat. So,
Mhm. Yeah.
so you're a swimmer. What's your
Mhm.
opinions of sharks, especially the one you're talking to now? Did you ever come across any out in the competitive pool?
Yeah, actually, I saw a shark once. I was surfing in Hawaii and a shark swam by
Yeah.
me. And it was the most terrifying thing that has ever happened to me in my life. And I don't think I've ever screamed or paddled faster into the shore.
Have you ever been
So
diving with them? Because that's my passion.
I actually have. I went to South Africa last year for my
Nice.
birthday and we went great white shark diving and it was one of the coolest experiences I've ever done in my life.
Until
So it was
for most people,
awesome.
they see 47 meters down and then they reconsider.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
So,
awesome.
Kylie, tell me a little bit more about your courses, that other piece of how you help give out that knowledge. What does that kind of entail? What's the process, the timeline for people to create, and what does it help me do after I've taken it?
So the my first digital course that I have out now is called Post to Profit Pinterest Marketing for Business. And what I teach throughout that course is your complete blueprint from starting a Pinterest account to being able to monetize your Pinterest account. So from the beginning, you can know nothing about Pinterest. You could never have had a Pinterest account before. And by the end, I always guarantee that you will know more about Pinterest. You will become more visible online. And in 30 minutes a day, you will see a massive, massive return on investment with your time and energy into marketing your business.
Great. Kylie, thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
joining us today. Where
Seriously.
can people find out more about you? How do they like, share, follow, and pin?
Yeah, so I invite everyone to join my free Facebook group, which is the Vibe Tribe. It's social media marketing for the online entrepreneur. And it's the top rated Facebook group. I do live streams in there every single week, and you can ask me any single social media marketing question that you have. And I would absolutely love to meet you, chat with you on live streams. And that's where I can work with the most people one to one and give as much value as I can. So that's the Vibe Tribe. And on Instagram, Twitter, you can reach me at Kylie_Francis. And then I won't say my Pinterest name because it's long, but if you click on my Instagram name, you'll find my Pinterest. So,
Say your Pinterest name, silly.
so my Pinterest is KYLIIEEE.
Perfect.
So it's Kylie, but there's extra letters.
Perfect.
So
Well, I didn't do well at spelling, so I'll find it. So, Kylie, can you tell me, is this your favorite podcast you've done today?
Yes, this is by far my
Perfect.
favorite podcast.
Thank you, Kylie, for speaking with us on A Shark's Perspective. Have an awesome day.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So there was my conversation with Kylie Francis, a Pinterest influencer, social media consultant, digital course creator, and an expert in affiliate marketing. Let's take a look at 3 key takeaways from our conversation with her. First, for influencers, Pinterest can be a great way to generate passive income. On Pinterest, you can influence anyone at any time because all of those efforts go into the search engines. On Instagram and Facebook, you can communicate live directly with the people that you're influencing. With those kind of channels, though, you have to constantly be on, per se, with new or updated content. Some channels help sustain influence and foster engagement, while others show parts of you, your value, and brand your expertise. Second, a lot of businesses get caught up in the wrong approach with influencers. There are no billboards anymore unless you realize that the billboards are an Instagram post, a Facebook live feed, a YouTube video, a Pinterest pin, or some other new advertising channel. Know your niche and pick the right influencer with the right influence. Remember, as a consumer, it's hard to trust a brand, but if you have a trusted relationship with an influencer, then it can be a game changer. Third, when people can relate to somebody else, that's when trust is built. Businesses are built on a know, like, and trust factor, and influencers can often easily persuade someone to buy from you when they have all of those. Using influencer marketing in your business is often a must. Got a question? Please feel free to find me on LinkedIn or send me an email to kenneth@asharksperspective.com. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this show regarding another one of the many components that makes up marketing today. So take Kylie's course, create your own voice, be authentic, and be influential. And join us on the next episode of A Shark's Perspective.